cleaner than I ever would be. It's cooler than Antarctica's weather would be. Damn, I think my swagger is a weapon to me. And dudes don't count you off the record to me. So don't be stepping to me, trying to shake my hand. I'm already the man, ain't trying to make your band. I feel the fact that I'm real just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fact that I'm real just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. 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 You're not really seeing me, dog. Real talk. You feeling whacker than you ever would be. In mind, you think you.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, we have to get into our Basketball Wives review. I have Cindy here with me as well. We may have a special guest, we may not, I don't know. But outside of that, what's going on, everybody? As you guys know, get ready to rate the episode. But before we jump into all that stuff, let's take care of the business of this channel. If you want to join the SoDeb Nation, go ahead and turn on your notifications. Turn them on all so you get notified every time I go live or post a new video. Like the video, share the video, comment down below, and then come over here and comment in the chat. Also, share it with a friend or two because it's good for you. All right, let's play this intro and let's get into it. Let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
And we are back. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Wonderful. A little bit tired, as I mentioned before, but we're good. We're here.
Yes. Same here. I've been off for like the last 3 days, so I've been getting a lot of rest.
Good.
As you know, we've been all dealing with this heat.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I know. That's one thing. It's like when you're a kid, you love summer vacation because you're on vacation. But as an adult, I just want to be comfortable. So I don't want to be in the heat.
I hate the heat.
I hate it too. I hate it so much.
Some people say the heat makes them sleep, but it makes me stay awake. Like,
does it?
Yeah, the cold makes me go to sleep.
Okay, well, when I'm comfortable in the cold, like warmed up, yes, I feel drowsy, but I much prefer being cold and then warm myself up rather than be hot and try to cool down.
Yes.
And the heat does make me sleep too. So
that's why I can't live in Florida.
Right, exactly. Yes, too much. It's too much.
Yeah. Well, real quick, let's say what's up to people in the chat. What's going to Grown Woman? Don't Try Me.
Hey, Grown Woman.
One of my faves. What's going to Mary Broussard? Another one of my faves.
Hey, Mary.
And also Miss Platinum 2001. Another one of my faves.
Exactly. Hey, Miss Platinum.
So guys, we are here. Make sure you guys check out my video I did earlier today about Housewives of Atlanta. It was really good. I thought it was really good. I realized I talk really, really fast.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
But what did you do on Atlanta? You posted something?
Yeah, I posted. Talked about all of them. Shamia, Britt, Angela, Phaedra, Portia. This all the stuff that's going on in the news about them. So I posted about that. I recorded it last night.
Okay.
And I woke up. I was supposed to wake up this morning and post it this morning, but I went to sleep.
Right. Okay.
And that posted it this afternoon. So I did that. That was on a little bit before we did this live.
Okay. I'll have to go back and check it out.
Okay. So on a scale from 1 to 10, what you giving it?
Oh Lord, I didn't love this episode.
And if you guys in that, what do you rate this episode? If you've watched it on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 4. What about you?
Yeah, I'm like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
it wasn't a lot that really happened.
well, they just kind of recapped all the drama that did happen, but not in a way that yeah, even 5 is kind of high to me. That's like midway good. This was kind of like womp womp, but whatever.
I mean, I have some, some reasons why I give it a little bit higher.
Of course, of course. There really is only one reason, but okay.
I'm probably really at like a 4 too, but
Okay, okay.
I got to add Brandy's extra point for the 5.
Got it. And what does the nation, are they rating it or no?
Nobody's rated it yet. I mean, most people don't watch the show; they just watch the review, which it's okay with me. At
That's
least
okay too.
watch
Yeah.
the review, and shout out to you guys who have watched the last review that we did. We hit 1,500 views. So
Woo-hoo!
haven't had
Thank you
that in a very
guys.
long time. So thank you guys. That means we're getting back into the algorithm. So thank you guys for supporting the channel.
Absolutely.
And you guys are like watching the entire video too, which is really dope.
And that was a long one because we had missed, the
Yeah, it went
first few.
hours.
Yep, that's right. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for sticking in there with us because that was a very long live. But,
Yes.
hopefully we won't be here that long this time. 'Cause it's not a lot to really go over.
No.
Um, let's get into it, and then I guess I will get into what I want to say.
Oh,
Grandmama says I watched your review, so she doesn't watch the show; she's watched the reviews. So,
got it. Okay.
all right. So this episode starts off with Evelyn telling Shanice, her daughter, about Brandi telling Chantel to stay in a child's place. Brittany talks to her uncle about her and Jackie getting into an argument, and she's trying to figure out how they got into this place. I'm like, Brittany, you don't know how.
Exactly. It's just she just
I want
okay.
her to find herself.
Right. I feel like she just wanted a fight. She needed a moment and she made her trauma about, I mean, Shani's trauma about her. Eh,
Mhm.
So, I mean, the fact that she was trying to make she always has that. That's what I don't like about her. She has this victim mentality.
Yeah,
Like you know what I mean? Like she doesn't want anybody to do or say anything to her, or if they do something, she always seems to take it the wrong way or take it in a negative way. I don't know. I just don't get it. She just seems so bitter all the time to me.
and I think throughout this episode, I think a lot of the ladies start to see that,
Mm-hmm.
especially Jennifer.
Yep.
And also Jennifer does something that I really don't like too. We'll get into that once we get towards that part.
Okay.
So we get to Jennifer. She invites Brady, Ty, Jackie, and Denise to get the IV drips after their Vegas trip.
Right.
Jennifer feels like Vegas was a lot and the ladies need a little recovery. She invites Brady, Ty, Jackie, and Denise to get IV drips after Vegas. She also didn't get to spend time with Denise and Ty, so she figures this would be a great time to get to know them. Brandy tells Jen she made the right decision to staying in her bubble because they wasn't so happy with them. Brandy tells Jen she made the right. Oh, that right the part. Jennifer doesn't understand why Brandy keeps getting all this shit all weekend when she tried to do something nice for Evelyn's birthday. She asked.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
She asked Brandy if Evelyn ever said thank you. Brandy says she did, but she feels like Evelyn was very distant with her. And Jennifer says, I have to say, I mean, I hate. Jennifer says, I hate to say I told you so. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't
Right.
say
Right.
that. What were you
Exactly.
gonna say?
I was just going to say that, first of all, I found it ironic that Jennifer, the quietest of the bunch, all of a sudden is rallying the troops to get to know them. I'm like, that's never been Jennifer.
Never, ever, yeah.
Never. She's always been the friend that is part of the troop.
Mhm.
She's not been the rallier. So that took me by surprise, number one. And then number two, Jen, I mean, sorry, Brandy is talking about Evelyn saying, like was being kind of distant. That's because you invited Jennifer, ma'am. I don't understand what Brandy doesn't get. Like,
I mean,
that's not her friend.
of course, you know, I'm gonna say I do get it, but you know,
I know you get it. I know because you are like that. You are like you want to get the people together, and they've been friends for so long and yada yada. But it's just like, but they're not friends right now. Don't like it's not about, make it about one or the other.
yeah,
Don't like if you're gonna go to the wedding and be quiet about that. And then if you're trying to celebrate her birthday, go ahead and do that. But inviting her over to the house and all that stuff just wasn't the best idea. So I'm I don't know how Brandy in her mind, and you can explain this to me because I'm sure you will. How Brandy in her mind has spun it that Evelyn should not be bothered.
to me, I feel like Evelyn really was unbothered. I think that not Shawnee, Chantel and Brittany kind of ignited Evelyn's botherness.
Ah,
You understand
okay.
what I'm saying? Because I mean, really, like even when they were going off about the situation, Evelyn really wasn't like in the conversation for real.
Right.
Evelyn really joined that conversation until Shawnee came, and then even that little piece. To me, again, I still don't feel like it wasn't as bad as they made it, but I mean, it is what it is.
Got it. Okay.
I will
Well,
say this too. Also, I do. Although Jennifer is doing this because I feel like she has never really had the support behind her. I do
mhm,
like the new Jennifer energy. I think that Jennifer playing a like B maybe C role main character is
mhm.
interesting to me.
Okay. I mean, yes, because it's new. Like I said, we've never seen her be that person. She's always just showing up in her designer stuff. She's
Yeah,
never been the one to plan anything or, try to mend the fences, So when she did say, I'm trying to mend the fences, I was just like, when? Why?
yeah. She's like, I'm.
And it didn't really
She said
come
she's like the peacemaker in her group. I was like, what?
yeah, the peacemaker. And I'm like, you're not the peacemaker, ma'am, but okay.
And
Uh,
I don't remember that episode.
exactly. I don't remember that season.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
in all the years she's been doing it. But look, if that's what she's trying, maybe they've talked to her to try to step it up. I still feel like it wasn't genuine though, because Jennifer is selfish. So uh, her trying to act like she is really caring about these girls was a little bit odd and a little bit funny to me, but whatever.
I think Jennifer's in her I don't give a era right now, and I
Uh-huh.
think that this is like a new. So I got to bring my Virgo-ness into this. Um,
Okay.
I think it's just the Virgo in her. It's like it's the as a Virgo, this is what the energy I would be thinking Jennifer would have been having since season one.
Got it.
Now that she's having it, like it's kind of like comforting to me to see Jennifer actually like really not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
that has she been playing this role more often, and I think also a lot of that took Jennifer down with Naya jumping across the table or coming around and smacking her, then also Malaysia throwing a table at her. I think a lot of times
That
Jennifer.
was because she was lying. That was
No, I understand that part. I'm just saying I feel like she was like maybe afraid of like those type of interactions. Now I
yeah.
feel like she doesn't feel like that's going to happen again. So now she feels like she could be Jennifer.
I don't think so. I feel like she has a scammer thug young husband. I feel like she feels more safe, even though all of
Grown
the
woman,
red flags, even all of the, I'm sorry, what you say?
grown woman says she ain't got that backbone from her scamming husband. So
Thank you, grown woman. Don't try me. That's exactly what I was trying to explain. That's exactly that's it. She
yeah,
just, yeah, she just summed it up in basically what I was saying was that she feels like she's safe to now stand up a little bit more and have more of a voice. So,
but I think if you think about the history of Jennifer on the show, especially that season where her mom had passed, and I will never forget Evelyn slamming that door shut.
right,
But
right,
she never really had no one like to back her up, and so I feel
right.
like because she feels safe.
And that's what I just said. She feels
Yeah,
safe to feel like she has more of a voice.
hmm
Um,
she
although
feels safe to feel like she has feelings.
I don't think that, no, because she's exhibited her feelings before on the show and been vulnerable on the show, but it just hasn't come across as like the glue. She's not a main
Yeah,
person. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And
that's
so now, I guess now she's feeling more confident to maybe step up a little bit and do that. Although, like I said, she is, from what we could see just based on the show, selfish, very selfish and self-absorbed. So I don't know, it didn't sit as genuine to me. It kind of, her having that smile when Brandy was whining about Evelyn, um was annoying. I was just like, shut up, Jennifer.
You
Just
can also kind of like see it was on the way because she was like, did she ever even say thank you? She was like trying to find
right,
her end to like say, I told
right. Exactly. Like you were she was so happy that she was starting to,
you. Yeah,
that the friendship was starting to slip a little bit, but whatever.
but yeah, I agree. What's up to Yvette in the chat? She says, hey, so Deb and Cindy.
Hey,
Growing up,
that.
I read that one. And then Growing said Jen has always felt she was better than the other lady.
Yes,
And she has.
agreed. She
I think that
has.
she's felt that way, but she also hasn't felt that way to the extent of if something goes down, like I'm ready to battle it out though.
Yeah. No, because she feels like she's above them. So she doesn't she doesn't want to get down with the lower people.
I feel like Jennifer would be more of this person if there was a clause where you can't put hands on or throw tables at or smack. Like I just think that there would be a difference in Jennifer already.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's keep moving on. She puts on her shades. I didn't understand the part about the shades. She's like, they're shades, but I'm gonna put them on as bifocals. Like, are we zooming in on this? I don't know
I,
what
I
that was.
yeah, I don't know.
It was definitely shades. You put on it
It
because it's
was
shady.
she was being shady.
Yeah, so
So
she could have just left it at that. That would have been a good reason for her. Somebody needs to go teach her how to read.
right.
Um, Evelyn reels people in. Oh, she says Evelyn reels people in, and once she gets them close, she tosses them to the choppy waters.
That's not true. And if she wasn't being a liar, um Evelyn wouldn't have tossed her. I feel like Evelyn is genuine. Like if you're cool with her, she's cool with you. But if you have a problem, she's not going to stand back. She's not going to not speak up. She's not going to.
We'll jump into that a little bit
Okay.
later. Brandy is now experiencing the Evelyn effect. That's what I put. Jen asks, could it be because Shawnee was there? And Brandy says to her, yes. Now, I do think that that's a little bit of the energy that Evelyn does give. When Shawnee comes around, it is a different Evelyn.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
I agree. And
Okay.
and as it should be because that's her best friend.
And okay, so then we're on the same page on that.
Yes.
Gotcha. She wants to talk to Evelyn because she blames her for the tension between her and Shawnee. She's been a good friend to Evelyn, and her switching up on her, she doesn't like it. Anything on that?
Um anything from you?
I understand Brandon saying this. I
Of
do.
course. Of
I
course
mean,
you
I
do.
mean, if we're gonna be friends, we'll be friends. Like I do understand the totem pole of friendships, but
I
also like
understand.
we also are like we're building a friendship. I understand that Sean is like the ultimate friend of all friends. But
Mhm.
like also, you don't have to switch up on me because Shawnee's around. To me, I felt like Evelyn made that whole thing with her in the hands a bigger thing than it really was. And
Well,
I think I actually have the video of this. Hold on.
okay. And I don't think that she made it a bigger deal. She just mentioned it. And because that is her best friend, she's gonna obviously defer to Shawnee over Brandy. However, Brandy,
Hold on.
Brandy, oops, I was going to say Brandy has been seemingly a decent friend to Evelyn. So I don't like the way that Brandy made it seem like it was once again Evelyn's fault for, you know, at least saying something instead of, saying that the whole weekend everybody was mad at Brandy, not Evelyn's trying to start stuff.
But
I didn't
I think that Evelyn bringing that up made it a bigger issue than really what it was because like
She
let's
just
watch.
mentioned it
But
because she said you had to
then
stay.
Shawnee actually talked about it at that dinner that they had, and she was like, I didn't know what's going on, so I didn't say anything. But it was just like to me, and let's watch it and then let's talk about it.
Okay.
Y'all heard-
It's Vegas.
Is it your wedding?
This is a
Hold on, let me go
wedding.
push it back.
This is not appropriate. It's Vegas.
Is it your wedding?
This
So
is not
hold on.
appropriate. It's Vegas.
That was the first hand.
Is it your wedding?
This is a wedding.
That was the second hand.
Yeah.
And it's
And then
Vegas.
There's
And
one more.
that was the same one. That's just from a different angle. So that's two still.
You would not get to
No,
come in
she
my
said
way.
this is Vegas like two times.
No, I'm saying, but the hand part only happened twice. And I'm just, to me, look at Shawnee's face. It's like,
I
Shawnee's,
thought it was.
she's not
I
a
thought it
This
was
is not
3 times.
appropriate.
No, so we're watching it. She does the way they show it is 3 times, but it's from the second one. It's just from two different angles.
I heard what you said, but I still think it's 3 times.
So just watch it. You'll see. Watch it.
Okay.
Vegas.
Is it your wedding?
This is a wedding, and it's Vegas. You would
See?
not.
It's just
No,
two
she said this is Vegas. It's a wedding, and this is that. She says different things. Listen, play it again.
All
She
right.
says,
I'm fighting
listen.
right.
This is not appropriate. It's Vegas.
Is it your wedding?
This is a wedding, and it's Vegas. You would not. You would
She
not
says,
get to come
and
in
it's Vegas. She did it
Vegas,
3 times.
Okay. I still don't think that. I mean, a lot. Shawnee doesn't
my
look
way.
mad to me.
Well, but why are you leaning into her and doing it? It just doesn't matter. It was dismissive. Just and I like the way that Evelyn. I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but
Don't
should
jump
I?
ahead. Don't jump ahead.
Okay, because I was gonna say it was dismissive, and like I told you, that's for me personally one of my triggers. Don't put your hands in my face. I don't care what we're doing. I don't care if you're smiling. I don't care if you thought like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I was just, but no,
Hey,
no,
cute.
ma'am. Hey, California cutie. Hey, sis.
Grown woman says Sean needs to stay down at the church. LOL. And what's going on to Norris in the chat is
Hey, Norris.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's where because no one was really offended besides Shawnee. I don't think she was
because
offended.
because it only happened to Shawnee. So
No, I'm saying she's the one who commented on Brandy's dress. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I just feel like it was too much on Brandy to me. That's just my opinion.
okay.
All right. So, Ty and Denise arrived. Denise says it was the worst Vegas trip she's ever been on.
Right.
Denise got a lot of talking time, by the way, this episode.
She sure did. I guess the producers were like, when you come to the events, you have to actually talk. Maybe they were just like, you when you come to the activities that the women get, you have to say something. But
Yeah.
to me, seemed like she was again a little bit bent out of shape more than she should have been, in my opinion. But whatever.
Yes. I feel like they have been talking shit like behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that.
Yep.
Jackie walks in and basically makes Denise move so she can be in the middle seat. Did you notice that?
Yes, and I'm just like, she was like, why am I all the way at the end? Because you're late.
She was like, is this like the boyfriend seat or something like that? Like, I was
Right.
like, you came late.
Right. She's like a dark cloud. Oh,
Yeah. They asked Jackie how she's feeling. Jackie is doing just fine. It's like nothing ever even happened in Vegas. She wants to drink, and Jen tells her that they can't have drinks during that Ivy drip thing.
right. And I'm like, ma'am, that's why you're there, to recover from the drinks. This is not a champagne type activity. Yeah.
Right. Cutie says, I've been watching, so I need y'all to give it to me slow. We got you.
We got you. We're going slow today, sis.
Yes. All right. So Denise is annoyed with Jackie's happiness because of the events that took place in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie's happiness is really pissing her off.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie wants to know if they have talked to her daughter, basically. But she throws in the other ladies and Brittany's name in the mix, so it's not so obvious. Jen says no, she hasn't, but she wants to check in with Brittany. Denise wants to know if they are going to address the elephant in the room. And who's the elephant in the room is Jackie.
Right. But also I thought it was so weird once again with Jen saying she wants to check in with Brittany. I'm like, when have you guys turned into friends?
Jen is trying to make these connections with her mom passing with everybody.
I know.
That? Okay. And I want to get into that.
But it's not the same kind of thing. Like
It's not.
having a toxic relationship with your mother is not grief and loss. Like that's why it's not reading as authentic to me, because it's not the same thing. So now once again, now she's taking her trauma and trying to bond with these girls, and that's not what they're mad about.
Right.
Like Jen is trying to be like, get over it, it's your mom and she's not going to be here forever. But if it's not a healthy relationship, this is what Jen is not getting, and that's what Brittany says. Like,
Yeah.
You had a loving mom, but like our situation is
Well,
different.
you skipping ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oops. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so she wants to know if Jackie thinks her behavior was okay when it comes to Chantel and Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie says she didn't act any way towards her daughter, and she thanks her for bringing this up. She was going to apologize to Brittany, but now that that's not going to happen, Brittany had 24 hours with Jackie. Within those 24 hours, Jackie has had an epiphany. She didn't do anything wrong to Brittany. She takes another jab at Brittany being a Muslim, and
Right.
that's that scene. Anything for this?
No, yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with Jackie a little bit, I agree with Jackie a little bit, and I felt like it was inappropriate of Brittany to be like, I'm mad at her for being so happy. Like, you don't know the dynamics of their relationship, girl. So, I felt like she wasn't the person. If anybody was going to talk about it, it shouldn't have been her. What
I
about
think
you?
a lot of things are happening that we are not seeing on the show. I think
Mm-hmm.
that Chantel, Brittany, and Denise are having conversations that we are not privy to. And I think
Probably.
there's things that are igniting things within Brittany when it comes to this relationship with her mom. Do I think that Brittany is right? No,
Mm-hmm.
because she's still putting off her personal trauma, and that's just like Jennifer doing the same thing with her, with
Mm-hmm.
her mom. I think that they're doing like and Brittany, Jennifer, and
Denise,
is it
or
mom? Who?
it's
They're doing the same thing, basically. What I'm trying to say, they're putting
okay.
their personal trauma on each other, and Chantel.
Chantel. Okay, got
They're
it.
all putting. Well, I don't think Chantel's putting hers off, but they're all like fuming from Chantel's stuff with Jackie,
Exactly.
personal issues.
I agree. Yep.
All right. So then we get to Evelyn, Ming, Brittany, and Chantel. Brittany's comes in. Her voice is gone from yelling at Jackie. Evelyn says the whole thing was just disgusting to her. Brittany says she will never respect Jackie. She swears on her God she violated her, put her hands in her space. She disrespected her religion and then threatened her. Using her religion against her shows she's godless. You want to stop there? Or you want to move on?
Um. I
I
have
feel like
more.
Brittany's putting a lot of spice on this religion thing, and then
Yes, I was gonna
now it's a
say.
lot. Like it's like, girl, I mean, but this is, but we'll,
Right, but I feel like she brought that on herself. If she had
yeah,
not chimed in and injected herself into that situation when she knew it was already an argument, and it wasn't really, and she keeps claiming she was trying to protect her daughter, but
mhm,
that's not your place. That's still her mother, and everybody else was quiet to let them have their conversation, no matter how heated it became. It wasn't until she chimed in and interjected herself that Jackie then was trying to clarify what she was talking to Shanny about. And so by her and she wasn't really like she was just pointing in her direction and she was just talking with her hands. I really didn't see it
yeah, yeah,
being in the way of like I'm cursing you out and I'm pointing in your finger and your hijab that and all of that stuff. Now the hijab comment was inappropriate and attacking her religion, right?
yeah.
But then she quickly just kind of like tried to de-escalate, and Brittany was still so turned up. So all of the stuff why she was saying she doesn't respect her and stuff sounds like she was talking about her mother, not with Jackie.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think that she needs to get some type of help.
Yep, agreed.
Chantel walks in. Evelyn tells her they were just recapping Vegas and what happened the last night. Chantel says it's heavy. She tries so many times to say, let's just dead this. She realized in the moment she acted out of character.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that moment, Jackie still kept going and wouldn't let her call her dad. She believes Jackie has created a competition between her and her dad when it comes to Jackie and Chantel and Doug. Ming asks, has she talked to Jackie? And Chantel says her and Jackie have always had a rocky relationship, and she's trying to learn to honor her because now she's a mother. She's extending herself more than she's comfortable with, and she has no background history on. This was kind of concerning to me.
Me
She has
too.
She has no background history on where Jackie comes from or what she's been through that made Jackie the way that she is. Now she doesn't want Jackie anywhere near her, and she's washed her hands of Jackie. To me, this part was really sad.
Me too. And but she explained very clearly
Hmm.
um her issues. What my thing is that this show is not family therapy.
Yes.
And I'm just kind of like, eh,
Whose idea
Shanny.
was it for y'all to like do this?
Right. Whose idea was this? Like, I mean, I know on the one hand, when she first came, like the first episode, she said that she came to, she wanted to get her baby, into like the child baby modeling and that sort of thing. And I know she's trying to make a living, but if you have such dysfunction, with your parent, why would you come on a television show? And
Right.
I know that she's not done, so I didn't like the fact that she said she's done with her. She's not done. That's her mom. She's
That's
always
her
going to be
mom.
her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's always going to be her mother. So I was just kind of like, but she did articulate what her concerns were very well.
I
And
feel like she's
I
been doing that for a very long time with Jackie too, though.
with Jackie, but Jackie is going to be Jackie. Like it's kind of like, for the elder women, especially my grandmom who has now passed. She passed at 102. But like there are certain times when like you have to be the one that accepts that they're not going to change. Like, like when people reach a certain age, they're really not going to change. It was sad to hear that, and uncomfortable to hear that Jackie did think of Chantel as competition.
Hmm.
Like what mom does that? But there,
There's
unfortunately,
mothers who do that. I have
yeah, I was going to
friends.
say yeah, I was going to say unfortunately that happens a lot. And I don't know. I feel like Shani, especially when she was first introduced on the show, I
Mhm.
feel like she was kind of like the golden child. So it's weird that Jackie preferred her and Dougie, but then Shani has a negative perception. I don't know, it's really
Well,
kind of
do you
sad.
remember when she sat down with Laura and talked to Laura?
Yeah.
And you
Mm-hmm.
remember she brought up is her name Takari?
Yes,
And Shani brought up Takari in that conversation. So this has been going on for a very long time.
it has been going
I
on for
didn't
a very
realize
long
that
time.
I didn't realize that Chantel knew that.
I think that she did know that, but when she was having that conversation with Laura, she was saying that she felt like Jackie treated Takari less than, like,
Yeah.
but she never said, and for me, she does this to me at that time. You know what I mean? So now it's kind of like, huh? Like when maybe it took time for her to grow up and, have her own voice in life and marriage and children for her to realize maybe the effects that Jackie had on her. But I always feel like, even right now, still with her on the show right now, I feel like Jackie prefers her, to be honest.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
we'll never see Takari on the show.
No, we'll never see
We'll never see
it. You'll never see
We've
her on
seen
the
Doug,
show.
we've seen Chantel. We have never seen we have seen Takari on that first season, but that was it.
We saw her when they went to therapy, and they both kind of were talking about, basically what we just said, that Jackie, treats like what Takari's words were, she treats them better than her,
Yeah.
and she doesn't understand why. So yeah.
I wanted to read this. California Cutie says, "What a long life your grandmother has, Cindy. Oh, my grandmother lives that long. She's 85."
Oh, yeah, I mean, she literally outlived everyone. Her husband, all of her children, and she had six of them. Her siblings, she outlived everyone. 102. That little old lady, she was a tough cookie. Also a Leo. So, but
Oh,
she was a true Leo. Like everything was about her. Like so she was August 2nd and I'm August 10th.
oh, wow.
But yeah, so she was a tough cookie. Yeah.
I think the point that I wanted to go back to was just Chantel saying that she has no background history on where Jackie comes from and what Jackie has been through,
Right.
and what made her the way that she is. I thought that was really sad.
I thought so too, because I mean, I know when the show first started, because Jackie lost her mom um during the show at some point, So I'm like, didn't you see her with her mom? I wonder what their dynamic was.
I
You
mean,
know what
that's
I
what I
mean?
thought about the entire time when she said that. That was my
Yeah. I was a little confused because I was like, did she not or did she not allow the children to have a relationship with her mom and her background? And I wonder if Jackie has siblings. Doesn't she have anybody like Shani have anybody to go and talk to about her growing up?
yeah. Okay, Cutie says, "I love that my granddaughters are Leo 725."
Oh,
Uh,
we love the Leos. But yeah, so I don't know. What did you feel like about her not have? I mean, even her
like
talking
that
to
sister,
Jackie about it.
like so. One of my cousins just recently called me
Hmm.
about like one history about my grandmother on my dad's side,
Hmm.
and I didn't know that my grandmother came from like Georgia.
Oh wow, yeah.
I've lived in Georgia for so long.
Hmm.
Never knew she knew that. She never even said that to me before.
It's
So
I think it's a generational thing. Like they just don't talk about their past. Like my grandmother started talking about it more because at that point I had lost my dad, and so I was at one point in my 20s, and I was engaged. I was really trying to get a lot of family information.
mhm.
And then she started to talk about more stuff because I would ask her and ask her. But just offering that information, I think it's a generational thing. They just don't talk about it. It's like it never happened, which is so odd to me because we need to know those things, like
I think it's
like.
just that thing where we don't share things. It's that
Hmm.
like thing, like what's in the family stays in the family. There's those
Yep,
family
exactly.
secrets and things like that.
I
Um,
agree.
so I think that's really just what it is. And I think even my cousin was telling me about it. Like there's just some things that I guess before she passed, they went back. They came to Atlanta to go down
Hmm.
to Georgia where she was from. I
Oh
never knew that,
wow,
and
you never knew it.
I was living in Atlanta during the time. I never knew that. So
That's so
just those
crazy.
things. Yeah, he told me to give me some things to look up because my family lives near like my grandmother when she moved to Ohio, she
Hmm.
lived near a creek,
Uh-huh.
and where she's from down in Georgia, it was by a creek too.
Oh
And so he was
wow.
talking about the familiar smells for her and why she moved in that house. It was a lot. So yeah,
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you had that conversation. I mean, I feel like these are the conversations that especially because she has kids now, that Chantel should be having with her mom so that she could pass that along, and understand her better. And again, she's never, in my opinion, she's never going to change Jackie, but if she could understand her a little bit
it would
more,
be amazing just for her to be able to understand it.
yes,
Yep,
I agree.
I agree. Yep. All right, let's move on. So we get back to Jen's group. Denise asks Jackie if she has she talked to Chantel. Jackie says no. Chantel lets her cool down after they have blowouts like these. Denise informs Jackie that Chantel had blocked her. I was like, this is not your place.
Exactly. I was like, I
This is
did, I
not
did like
your
you,
place.
I did like you did last week. Like I clutched my pearls. Like I was like, oh, like don't say that.
Yeah.
Like,
And you could tell this is when Jackie switched from Jackie to Jackie Christian.
yes, yes.
Um,
Immediately, you could see the switch immediately.
yeah, Jackie tries to blow her off. Denise says the whole thing that happened between them is effed up. Jackie says she's not going to justify any of that. She basically recites Chantel's birth certificate at this point.
Yep.
It says, leave her and her family out of it. She's going to respect Chantel's boundaries, and when she wants to talk, she will talk to her. Jen thinks Denise needs to be careful because before she crosses that line, and Jackie has her head on the damn stick.
Absolutely.
Jackie gets hyped up. Brandi tries to calm her down. Jackie tells Denise to stay out of her face. Brandi tells Jackie it's time to go.
It's it is time to go.
It's time to go.
But once again, I know it doesn't bother you, but it bothers me.
Mhm.
Um, Brandy, go away. You're not. She always jumps in. You're not.
She didn't really jump in though. She just like rubbed her arm.
She just. I don't need to see her do that every time. I that's just me. But
I
but
think
it
it's
was
protection for
but
her friend.
okay. All right, whatever.
Like, because we know Jackie, we've seen Jackie go from 0 to 100 within
Absolutely.
seconds. And I think that Brandy's been around her long enough to know the niece may not know that she's in danger.
I agree in that sense, but I'm just tired of seeing her do it. I'm sorry, it's just a personal thing. It's just, but whatever. It was time for them to go.
Yeah,
But once again, Denise is like, once in my opinion, if Shani asked her to do that, then fine. But she didn't ask her to do that from what we saw. Like it's not her place to be like, and she's blocked. First of all, that's once again her mother. They live in the same apartment complex. That's all she has to do is go downstairs and see her.
and I feel
So
like that's ignited Jackie to want to go downstairs instead of like trying to talk.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm just kind of like, well, so she doesn't have anything to explain to anyone, especially Denise, where I was just kind of like, you saw, and then poor Ty was just sitting there quiet. I love Ty. She's just like, she always has
I'm
like the
learning that Ty is messy.
really?
Yes.
Why
Ty
do
is
you
very
think
messy.
why do you think that?
I feel like Ty should say how she feels in these situations more than this she does.
But I think she's smart enough to listen and observe the situation before she speaks her piece, and I respect that.
I think when it comes to Ty, Ty doesn't agree with any of this shit at all, to be honest. And
No,
maybe
and
towards the end of the episode, we get to that point, but then
but
she's
then
also like she's seeing both sides of the story.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like she's trying to observe so that she can make an informed comment
Mhm.
instead of just popping off at the mouth and then going backwards and backtracking.
I
I,
don't
I
think Ty's
like,
gonna go back and forth.
huh?
I don't think that Ty would ever go back and forth with anybody.
I don't think so, but that's why I like that she just sits there. She's just looking at the situation, being like, mm-hmm. I like that more than somebody just being like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and then all of a sudden, then they see the other side of it and then go, oh,
I'm not mad at Denise for having feelings about the situation. I think that Denise
I'm
has
not mad at that
three
either. But
different
what I'm
types of
saying
feelings.
is that information should not come from her. We don't
No,
know her well enough.
no, I agree with you on that part. I do agree with that, but I also feel like Denise is having like different moments, and I guess I'll wait till we get to this point, to this place.
Okay.
So we get to Brittany and Jennifer. This part to me was like I was like, okay, why are we here? But
Very uncomfortable, very
yeah, okay,
not, yeah, I was just like, they're not even okay. And like Jen did admit, she was like, the first season she was on, she was like, I didn't really get to know her very
right.
well.
Well, she was sitting like 3 rows back every time because she didn't want Evelyn to beat her up.
Right. Right.
So Jimmy's with Brittany at a wine bar to talk about her relationship with her mom. Jen wants to help her figure out.
But wait. What do you know anything about, or does the audience know anything about the Muslim religion? She's like, you could get you a mocktail even though they're at a wine bar. Can you not drink when you're
I mean, I know a lot of Muslims that drinks. I don't know.
okay.
This
Okay.
whole thing about her not drinking, to me, I don't know like what part of the religion. And I maybe do I know? God, I don't know. I feel like do I know any guys, any women? I don't
I
know.
don't
Maybe
know.
it's, I don't know.
I don't know any women Muslims, to be honest.
Actually, I worked with one last year,
Oh, okay.
and she drank, and she wears the hijab and everything.
And she drank and everything?
Yeah, so I don't. I mean, maybe is that from the because she's in a relationship. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't want to dig into that because that's not my religion, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. So,
Yeah, that's why I was asking if anybody did actually know, because I was surprised when
yeah,
she was
anybody in
like,
the chat or if you tuning in late, drop down in the comments if y'all can explain like the drinking part when it comes to Brittany. Why she's
right.
allowed to drink? I would love to know the answers to that.
I would love to know too. Unless maybe she's like, I just want to try to be as clean as pop. Maybe it's just a personal choice, you know, because she was drinking on the first her first season,
Well,
and
we
it
know
was, I was right, and I'm like, and it was horrible. So maybe she was just like, I don't want to represent myself in that way. I don't know.
that. Jen wants. So I guess before this happened, Jen when she came in, Jen was like she heard about the whole thing, so she asked them for mocktails for Brittany. Um, Jen was like, "I'm gonna have my wine though." girl. So I mean,
Right.
you get a mocktail, I'm gonna give me a real tail.
I'm gonna give me a real drink. Right. Right.
Jen wants to help her figure out the issues with her mom. Brittany kind of kills the conversation. She tells Jennifer that it seems she had a loving mother and she didn't. She prays for her mom, but outside of that, it's a done deal basically for Brittany.
Right.
They move over to the Jack conversation. Jennifer is trying to locate the part of Brittany that is forgiving.
Mhm.
It just doesn't exist. She thinks a lot of this. She thinks a lot of this has to deal with Brittany being angry with her mother. But it does.
It does absolutely.
Brittany says the whole. Brittany says she would never co-sign a deadbeat mother. She's talking about Jackie. She basically trashes Jackie for not being there for Chantel. She says Jackie.
Now how is she a deadbeat, Brittany? Come on, girl.
Yeah,
She's doing too much. Deadbeat means that she has no relationship with her children. She's not around for her kids, and that's not the truth. Now,
well,
Jackie doesn't
that
seem.
might be for. I mean, that might be Jackie though for Chantel. I mean,
No,
she might financially be there
that's
for
not
her.
true. We've seen them together. So,
Yeah, on television, but the way that Chantel tells the story, I don't really think that that Brittany is too far off of what she's saying. What I
I disagree because even in the first episode or two, she was talking about how Jackie was taking her out for modeling and just like always focused on her. Like I said, I felt like she was the golden child.
that's
Now,
that, but that's
now
like a baby though, not like as like growing
no,
into.
no, 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 no. Let me finish. I feel like maybe emotionally
Okay,
she seems dysfunctional, but deadbeat to me means that she's not been there for her kids at all.
Yvette says, oh, I'm gonna come back to what you just said. Yvette says Muslims are not supposed to drink alcohol. That's why I don't think Jackie was being offensive about the hijab, but maybe suggesting Brittany is maybe secretly drinking.
Oh, ooh. Now that could be that I didn't even think about that. Maybe she
That
was
makes sense
being
though.
it does make sense why she would be so defensive about that.
Yeah, because I mean
Wow.
she got like sparked with that, so yeah, that would
Yes, she did. She was super triggered. Like immediately she was like, "Bam!" Like what?
make. I
Right?
need to,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that as a clip on my channel because I love when Jackie said that it took me off the edge. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what were you saying again? Because I had to read it. I was reading that when you were talking. What were you saying again?
Um, I
You were
I'm
talking about um,
Brittany and her mom, or no, Chantel and Jackie. I feel like maybe emotionally,
oh yeah, I was saying I don't think that Brittany's too far off of what she was saying. Yeah,
right. And I disagree, but we could agree to disagree.
yeah. And I'm just saying that because I just feel like the way that Chantel keeps on saying about these boundaries when it comes to because you were saying that she was taking her to all these modeling things and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
feel like when Chantel was like not when she was like a kid enough to not really understand what's happening. But I feel like as Chantel became older, she realized that the things that Jackie are doing is not normal to her. And so
Maybe.
and I think that's where Brittany comes in because I feel like Brittany feels like it's not normal. And I feel like she wants to I feel like in her mind she's trying to save Chantel.
I feel like she
And I'm
is,
not agreeing.
I don't feel like
Real quick before you go, I'm not trying to save Brittany at this point, but I
right.
can understand what Brittany is saying.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and
Mm,
I heard what Brittany's saying, but I feel like Brittany is projecting her relationship with her mother
right.
off, like the things that she was accusing Jackie of sounds to me the way that Brittany has described her mother. It doesn't sound like it's for and then she's using Chantel as like that veil over what she really feels about her mom. Like I wanted to, if I were Jennifer, which Jennifer would
But
never
we
do, I
we
would be.
agree on we agree on this though.
Yeah, I was going to say which Jennifer would never do is be like, but that's your mom. That's not, you don't know their situation in well enough, and I understand it might be triggering because of the situation with your mom, but I don't feel like you know their situation well enough. So maybe if you talk to like if she was trying to really be the peacemaker, then she should have been like, try to separate. But I don't think Jennifer is mature enough, or I feel, and I
I
feel
think
like
that
she's
she
too.
cares enough.
Yeah, I feel like she's too selfish. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. I feel like, she should have said, like, try to separate your situation from Chantel's situation. And I understand you feel like you want to protect her, but
Mhm.
she's not asking you to do that. Maybe just try sticking to
Now,
being
who's gonna ask her to do that?
nobody.
Well, Jackie told her that she loves if she does that. So I don't know if that. I feel like there's a lot of things happening here.
Hmm.
And I think that's what we're talking about. The California Cutie brings it back up. She said she agrees with you. I don't think that Jackie was a deadbeat mom.
Right.
I could see how Brittany feels that way. I could see if Chantel feels that way. I also feel like low key that Shawnee and Evelyn feel that way about her. To be honest, because when they went to talk to
I don't feel like they feel like she's a deadbeat. I feel like they feel like she's not a good mom.
Cindy, okay, maybe there's levels to deadbeat and a good mom. I'll get
Deadbeat deadbeat to me means not involved. If bad or not a good mom means what Jackie has been doing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe that's the disconnection. To me,
Exactly.
I feel like the trauma that Jackie is giving to Chantel would
Hmm.
be a deadbeat mom to me because you could be present and still be a deadbeat mom or dad,
Not not
whatever you
not
are
to
to me.
me. Not to me. Like
That's to me. So yeah,
yeah, a dysfunctional mom or a abusive parent doesn't mean that you're a deadbeat. Deadbeat means you're not around.
okay. Well, we can agree to disagree with
Okay.
that. Okay. Um, so Brittany goes into Jackie hopping over the couch. Wait. Jackie hopping over the couch to get in her for get into it to with her for
Get in her face, she said, to get in
yeah
her face. Hmm.
for defending Chantel. Um, they are done talking, and Jackie doesn't deserve grace. It is weird. Everyone is tiptoeing around.
Well,
Oh, oh no!
first of all,
This is what I asked. Is it weird that everyone is tiptoeing around Jackie and her mother? That was my question.
yes, I feel like it is. But again, if they were real friends with her, I
Mhm.
don't think it would be tiptoeing. But she's just a cast member, and they know that they have their opinions about her mothering. But again, I know that for a fact, especially someone like Evelyn, she wouldn't want anybody to talk about her mothering.
Absolutely
So
not. We're about to get into that next episode. So,
yeah, yeah. And but also I feel like, Brittany making light of why Jackie tried to hop over the couch was annoying to me because I'm like, well, she wouldn't have tried to be over the couch if you weren't calling her every name in the book and cussing her out and screaming and yelling about her daughter. Like it was the how you can say that you were trying to protect her daughter, but it
no.
was the way that you disrespected her mother was why her mother was trying to get at you.
I'll say this. I think that a lot of times people do put out their own personal trauma. I think I've probably been a victim to this as well.
Mhm.
Where I have tried to overprotect friends of mine when it comes to how their parents treat them.
Mhm.
So I could definitely understand Brittany. Is it right? Probably not. Um,
Were you calling their mama B? Were
no,
you
no, no, no.
thank you. And so
I would
there's a
never
difference.
disrespect an adult. No, I wouldn't do that.
Exactly. And there's a difference. And I've had to, protect my friends as well through the years, but I would never disrespect their mom. Never.
But I
And
feel like
especially
also Chantel kind of gave her that right away when they were sitting at that bar.
no,
When she
there's no
kept
right
telling
away.
her,
There's
no,
no right
hear
away.
what I'm saying, Cindy, hear what I'm saying. When she was sitting at that bar with her, the episode before this, and
Mhm.
basically Brittany was building up her case about why she would disrespect Jackie and how she's going to do it. And she was trying to gauge how Chantel's going to react. Chantel didn't say anything.
Right.
So when she did do it, Brittany felt she had every right to do it because Chantel never said, "Hey, that's my mom."
No, that's not Chantel shouldn't have to say, hey, that's my
I
mom.
don't think it's appropriate, but I'm saying I feel like that's why Brittany felt like it was okay because Chantel, when
No.
she was telling Chantel what she's going to do, she
No.
never was like, "Oh, girl." I mean, I understand, but no, that's my mom.
Yeah, no, I don't think that it needs to be a conversation that needs to be had. If she wants to hold herself with integrity, the way that she described herself,
Oh,
that's not how you act.
we know that's
Um, I'm sorry.
we know that's a lie though.
Of course. Well, yeah, and I feel like that's the way that she talks to her mother. So she feels like it's okay, and that's not their relationship and it was not her place. And I would never ever have, spoken to Jackie in that way. No matter how
Yeah,
I would have left before I spoke to that woman that way.
yeah. I would have. If I was Chantel, I would have probably pulled Brittany from the eyes out, and then we could talk
Yes,
later on. But
absolutely.
that's why I just think the trauma with Chantel and Jackie is like bigger than what we know. But
I
that's
agree.
beside the point.
I agree. Exactly. Again, I'm not trying to say that, of course none of us really know the ins and outs of their relationship, but the fact that also Shani was trying to get her mom to calm down against Brittany rather than the other way around
Yeah,
is wild to me.
yep,
Because there's no way you're going to talk to when she was alive, there's no way you're going to talk to my mama like that. I'm sorry. But whatever. Once
I agree.
again, they're like she said, their relationship is complicated. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It ain't that damn complicated for me. Don't disrespect my damn mom.
Same. Same for me. It's the
I don't care
same
about
for me.
the complication between me and my mom. That ain't
Absolutely.
you not doing that. I'm
And
sorry.
I again, I really don't think, like, if we're talking about the rest of their family, if Brittany was talking to Doug like that, or Dougie,
Hmm.
I don't think she would have been sitting there being like, Dad, don't do that to her. What? No. I feel like she would have protected her father.
Yeah, same. So then we get into the LA fires.
Yep.
We see Chantel with her husband finally. Um,
Right. Even
it's,
though he was like, don't really show me.
yeah,
Which
he's
I
like,
like. See, we never need
cut my head off, cut my head off. We seen the tattoo.
exactly. We never need to see the men. He's the kind of husband that I don't mind on the show.
I was like, when I
Like
see, I said he loves this part.
right. I loved it. I loved it. I was like, no talking, just a little fast clip with
He
the
ain't giving not
baby.
one opinion about nothing.
No opinions. He's staying out of the women's business. I like it. I like it. Yes.
Brandy calls Jason. He tells her to come back home because her health issues, and she's there by herself. Jen finds out that the fires are not far from where she lives. She's never seen them to this magnitude. You know what's crazy is that when this happened, I actually talked to Evelyn at this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
I
it
told
was, I mean, and I'm here. So everything that Jennifer,
it's me. I think I talked to you too.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
was telling you how bad it was. I was like, it literally is like Armageddon. And you were just
But
like, really? And I said, yes. I've lived here my whole life and I've never seen anything like it still. Like like if you were here and came to where I am, which is by the beach, and you drove down that, first strip of where it started, which is the Pacific Palisades, it's all flat. It's creepy to see, you
yeah,
know. It's gonna take a while to, I would say, no less than a decade to try to get it back to kind
right.
of where it was. So yeah, it's still devastating, honestly. Like, I mean, and I have asthma, so I had to like keep all my windows closed. I had to like put towels beneath a couple of my doors because the smoke and the air was so bad. It was really horrible.
Uh,
It was
yes.
a horrible way to
I
start.
think after I had talked to you, that's when I talked to Evelyn.
Yeah, it was a horrible way to start the new year for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that's over, and hopefully, things get back to where it's supposed to be at some point.
It's going to take a while, but yes, it was, and I'm glad that they kind of
It
captured it.
reminds me of like New Orleans from that flood because they're still trying to get back from that.
Absolutely. Yep,
So
that's
yeah.
right.
Then
And
we get to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and I hate to say it, but not to say that I enjoy seeing the devastation, but I appreciated seeing them on a more real.
Yes,
You
same.
know what I mean? Talking about real life stuff like that, like stuff that mattered. So to see them all be like, wow, look at what's going on out here. And, what I was like, okay, it actually made me, not like Jennifer more, but I saw her in a more human way.
Yeah, and Cutie says it seems unreal.
It really was unreal. And then to get the constant alerts on my phone, like, I had my bag packed with my, passport and all of that stuff. by the door because we were getting, constantly back. It was unreal. Like I couldn't sleep. It was really, really scary.
Well, all right. So then we get to Evelyn and Brandi.
Hmm.
I hated this scene.
I was about to say, I was gonna say when it was happening, I was like, oh my gosh, so Deb must be sitting there just like so upset.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
they meet up after filming. After filming restarted at a crystal store.
Hmm.
They are putting together some ideas to help the victims of the LA from the fires in LA. Evelyn wants to find crystals that give hope to the victims. Brandi finally shows up. Evelyn tells Brandi the ideas that she's ran through with the lady from the store. Brandi says she's never experienced anything like the fires in LA. Evelyn talks about how close they were to her home. Between the fires and the earthquake, she said you just never know.
Right.
Brandi asked if Evelyn had spoken to any of the other girls. Evelyn says she spoke with Chantel, and if Chantel never spoke to her mother again, she thinks that's the best thing that could happen for her.
Hmm.
I was like, whoa. Next season is Evelyn and Jackie.
Yep.
Um, sometimes you got to cut your own family off, and she ain't lying when she said that.
She's not, and I have had to do it. Hmm.
I've done it too.
Hmm.
Brandi asked how she liked her birthday trip. Evelyn says she held on to the good parts. Brandi says she didn't even have a good time with Evelyn and asked what she considered the good parts. Evelyn
And
is
that's
shocked.
why I was like, at that point, I was like, Brandy, wrong road, wrong road.
Well, I think this was her introduction to find out
She
why
was, but I felt
so important
I
with
was hoping that she
her.
didn't. When she did, I was like, don't do that.
I wanted to know what the good parts was too, Cindy.
Okay, all right.
Brandi says she didn't have a good time with Evelyn and asked what she considered the good parts. Evelyn is shocked and doesn't understand why Brandi is saying this.
That's why I
Brandi,
said wrong road.
Brandi brings up the situation with Shawnee. Evelyn tells Brandi she doesn't think Brandi understands that sometimes she comes off as stank. And here's why I got
And
annoyed.
I know you're not probably going to agree, but I agree 1,000%. Like I said, and I've said this throughout the years, I don't think she really realizes it, and I feel like she's always, not always, but in these past couple of seasons she's been more calm. But I feel like, when she feels like she needs to defend herself or she's under attack, it comes across in a negative way. And that's all I got to say. I'm not trying to bash. Look, we all handle stuff differently, but and so maybe, like I said, if she could articulate, like, I felt really attacked, and so I kind of shut down instead of just being like weird and quiet and side-eyeing and making faces. I feel like that would benefit her more if she could just say that instead of making the faces and being cold or dismissive. You know what I mean?
Talking about Brandi, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Brandy. I feel like if Brandy could pay attention to those things, but look, like I said, we all handle our stuff differently, but she does come across in a negative way, especially when in my opinion, when I feel like she feels like she's being attacked.
Brandi says,
So you disagree that she doesn't seem stank?
I think they all come off as stank. Lots of
Not like her, like that, with the faces and
Evelyn,
the
Evelyn, I mean, she's the number one person on this show that if anyone has came onto this cast to say that she comes off as stank. To me.
what?
Yeah, I mean, think about all the girls that have been on this show.
I feel like
Evelyn does
she's
not have the best attitude towards a lot of the women that came on the show.
when she doesn't like you or she feels like you're doing something against her. But okay, all
That's the
right,
same for Brandi.
okay,
I feel like
but
it's no
but
difference
but but
between Brandi and Evelyn. I think the total poll is different.
okay.
Um, Evelyn tells Brandi she did. Okay, saying okay. Shawnee was just surprised that Brandi was going to a wedding with her ass out. Brandi says her ass wasn't out. Evelyn says they seen her right cheek. And to
Hmm.
me, I'm like, now, Evelyn, out of all these seasons of Basketball Wives, we never seen your ass before.
We
You're
have.
literally patting your cat. But
We have.
Brandy's side ass cheek, right ass cheek was a problem.
She wasn't going to a wedding though.
It was a ratchet wedding. Evelyn could have given patted her cat during that because it was ratchet.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I don't understand. I don't understand the micro
Aggression.
What is it? Not the microaggression. What is it when you have a manager and then like over your shoulder?
A what?
When you have a manager they're over your shoulder, micromanaging.
Oh, micromanage. Okay,
Yes,
got
I
it.
don't understand the micromanaging of Brandi to be.
All right. Well, it's neither here nor there. I feel like once again, Brandi was trying to make it seem like it was Evelyn's fault that Shawnee had a comment about her dress. That was Shawnee's comment.
But
Like,
then
why are you bringing her into it?
added that she was stained because of this, and we never heard Shawnee say nothing about it until she said it was stained. And
Well,
then
at the dinner. Well, at the dinner was when Shawnee said that she felt like Brandy's attitude was stank.
Yes, but I feel like that Evelyn and Shawnee had a conversation outside of the thing, and I feel like
I don't think so.
Dress, and she said because we're in Vegas.
I don't think so.
Vegas. Wait a minute, I ain't got to do it myself. We can just watch it again. Like
This
I just
is
don't
not
feel like
appropriate. It's Vegas.
Is it your wedding?
This is a wedding, and it's Vegas. You would not get to come in my wedding.
like nobody wearing sweaters and suits. Like we're not.
But the rest of the women didn't. The rest of the women did not have those cutouts like that. And again, like her putting her fingers, being like, "This is her third wedding and it's fake." Like that was wrong. I'm sorry, it was disrespectful. I know you're going to take up for your girl, but don't put your hands in my face. I don't care what we're talking about. Period.
I hear what you're saying. I just don't see the offensiveness. When
just if I were
in Vegas.
If I were Brandi, what I would say, if I were Brandi, I would be like, we're in Vegas. I feel good. I like it. I mean, and that's it.
But no, that doesn't give bad bitch energy to me. What she was giving was this bad bitch energy. It's Vegas. She turns to the side. Girl, listen, it's Vegas. Like it was giving it's bad bitch energy to me.
It doesn't matter. It's not even about the dress. It's about, why are you putting your hands in my face? That was the problem.
I don't think that Shawnee, from looking at this even clip, Shawnee was not even mad about it. Then
she apparently was mad about it because she brought it up at the dinner.
But when has Shawnee held back any other time?
She said that she didn't like it.
In the moment, Shawnee would have been like, "Brandi, your hands in my face." I don't know. It's feel like they're like overdoing it.
Okay.
It feels like too much for me. I'm sorry.
Of course. I mean, and again, I don't think it's appropriate, but it's not that big of a deal. What I don't like is, once again, Brandi not taking accountability and trying to put why it was like that the whole trip wasn't negative because Evelyn said that she put her hands in Shawnee's face. So Brandi, the other women didn't like other things that you did, and you were also, rude and disrespectful.
This way, California cutie.
What?
She said it seems unreal.
What
seems unreal? I want to elaborate for me because I'm gonna know what you're saying.
Okay, so what I'm saying is Brandy's trying to make it seem like the whole trip was negative because of something that Evelyn did
she didn't say the whole trip was negative. She said
she didn't have a good time at all
with Evelyn.
She said she didn't have a good time at all because they were all mad at her throughout the trip.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back because I wrote down what she said. Evelyn is shocked. Where we at? Evelyn tells Brandi the ideas of this. Evelyn is shocked. Okay. Brandi says she didn't have a good time with Evelyn and asked what she considered the good parts. She didn't say she didn't have a good time at all.
She said to everybody else, and she said to her assistant that they're all mad at her. She's under fire. She didn't have a good time. She didn't have a good time.
Oh, so Cutie is saying try to outdo the bride is my issue, not that she did. But Jennifer didn't feel that way. But no, Brandi didn't. But that wasn't what she said, though.
Okay. We're not.
Brandi said she didn't have a good time with Evelyn
because she was talking to Evelyn. Because she was talking to Evelyn, but she didn't have any smoke for in my opinion, Brandi didn't have any of the smoke for all the women that were giving her a hard time, except for Evelyn. And I understand that she feels like Evelyn is more of
Chantel
a.
and me
Let me
who
let
have
me
been giving her
finish.
their hard time.
Let me finish. I feel like because Brandy probably saw Evelyn as a closer friend than the other girls, and she said she didn't have a good time with her. And in fact, Evelyn could have said, "I didn't have a good time with you. You didn't have a I didn't have a good time with the planning of my birthday. Like it didn't feel like it was about my birthday. Like, but Evelyn didn't go there. But I just feel like Brandy
That's not
should
what
be.
happened, though, Cindy.
Let me just say, Brandy should be able to speak her piece if she didn't feel like Evelyn supported her, but I don't feel like the way that she went about it was correct. Does that make sense?
No, because and I don't, I don't go back and forth with you a lot with this stuff. That's
Hmm.
not what happened in this conversation, though.
Okay.
From Evelyn, she had a good time with the stuff that she thought was fun for her.
Hmm.
When we watched this episode that happened, Evelyn wasn't bothered about any of this stuff. It was Chantel and Brittany and me that were upset about a lot of stuff. Evelyn really didn't give a damn about none of this stuff.
Right.
The thing that Evelyn had a problem with was Brandy with this whole thing with the face, with the hands in Shawnee's face.
Right.
Where she's even saying that I made sure that Shawnee was even here.
Right.
So if she wasn't like trying to disrespect Shawnee, so she brought Shawnee to your birthday event to disrespect her, to me it doesn't make any sense. And then also
She
because
did bring her to the birthday trip. She did bring her to the birthday trip, but she still was
hold on,
disrespectful.
give me a second. Then also, so then Shawnee says, "Well, you couldn't wear to my wedding, ma'am. You are a first lady. No one's wearing this to your wedding." So I don't even understand this part. I don't think that when Brandi was saying this was like a dig or like be disrespectful to Shawnee. I'm like, baby, it's Vegas. Like, who's going to Vegas dressed up in first lady attire?
None of them were dressed like Brandy, and that I think that's the point.
None of them
So
are as young as Brandi either.
yes, they are. They're younger than Brandy.
Who?
Other than Jackie, they're all younger than Brandy.
Who went? Who went? Ming and Ty?
Ming, Tai, and who else
I
went?
don't remember what Ming had on, so I don't know.
They were not. They would.
But
They
also, Ming and
Ming,
Ty don't know
Ming,
them.
huh?
Ming and Ty don't know them like that.
It doesn't matter.
I
It's
don't
still
know.
a wet. It's still. It doesn't matter. We're
Yeah,
getting. You.
we're
I
not going to
think you're
agree.
get. Yeah. I think you're getting hung. I think you're getting hung up on trying to defend this dress, and it really isn't about the
I thought
dress.
the dress was beautiful. I thought Brandi looked bad as fucking the dress. I loved it. So it was a
Okay.
Vegas wedding. I
But
would
then
never
let her
feel like
come.
there was
Then let her
any
come to
sort of
your
Vegas
wedding
wedding.
and like that, and would have nothing to say. That's it.
If Brandi went to that wedding in London with this one, I'm like, okay, now Brandi, what you doing? But the
You mean
Vegas wedding,
you
I
mean
don't.
You mean Paris?
Paris, yeah.
Hmm.
I wouldn't. I'm like, not Brandi. Now what are we doing? But a Vegas wedding, I'm not. I'm not putting too much on that. I'm sorry.
I don't think. I think you're getting stuck in
And
the
then the
in.
bride doesn't care. So
I think the bride doesn't care about anything right now except for her man.
if she
So
don't care, then why y'all care?
because she has no right to her opinion.
If it was her wedding, but it's not her wedding.
It doesn't matter. She still said what she said. Who cares? Why are
And
your
Brandi still wore the dress that she wore.
so why are your fingers in my face though?
Because you addressing me about something that got nothing to do with you.
No, it doesn't matter. Don't put your hand in my face. Sorry.
Agree to disagree.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Evelyn shot it. Okay, here we go. Brandi says her ass. Oh, so Shawnee was just surprised that Brandi was going to a wedding with her ass out.
Mm-hmm.
Brandi says her ass was not out. Evelyn says we seen the right cheek. Brandi doesn't think she had an attitude in Vegas. Evelyn asked Brandi, does she think
She
that she
did
was?
though. She more than one person said that she did have an attitude. I don't
They
understand
were
why
coming for her the entire time. So
it
yes,
doesn't
I
matter.
have an attitude.
It doesn't matter. Just say I have an attitude. The
I
fact that
wish
she
I was Brandi. I'd
always
be like, yes, I have an attitude because y'all want to.
just
You
say
don't want to
that.
leave me alone.
Yes. Just say that. I like I said, if she just
But if
said
my friend is here, then you should say, well, they should have left you alone.
no,
I'm not gonna sit in no room. Cindy, if me and you are at a trip and you threw the trip for me,
right?
and then California Cutie comes in and be like, well, I mean, he invited, let's say you don't like Busy. He
Right.
invited Busy too. Well, y'all both my friends. I'm keeping y'all separate. Yes, I did invite him to the house. He did not come into the house. But the grand scheme of things is
They
that
didn't really keep her separate though. That's the thing.
Jen, they never seen her to the end of this trip.
No, that's because like Jackie said, let's go on our little adventure and they can go on theirs, that sort of stuff.
No,
But
Jen told them to come outside. She's not coming into the house. That was where
that
first.
was the
Then
first
the
thing.
second
But
part
then
was
don't come to the house.
she wanted to see her friend that was there. There's
It
nothing wrong
doesn't
with that.
matter. You'll see them at the wedding.
Okay, Cindy, that's why are we not allowed to have friends who don't like each other? And even if
We're
we're
not.
in the
You're
same
not. You're.
spaces,
I'm
I can
telling
invite you
you.
where I'm at.
I'm telling you. If I don't like somebody and you've done something, like you've thrown something for me, and you invite that person that I don't like, I am going to have a problem.
But Evelyn didn't even have a problem. She never even said anything. It was everybody else.
Okay, let's move on. That's because she didn't know until later. But go on,
Even
go
when she
on, go
knew,
on,
she
go on,
couldn't say anything. So I
go
mean,
on, go on, go on, go on, go on. We're getting
okay.
stuck. We're getting stuck.
Brandy, she did that. Oh shit! Hold on, I done messed this up. Hold on. Brandy said that Evelyn had that vein coming out of the middle of her face. I've not seen that part.
She did not though. But
She
okay.
didn't have it. She didn't. Brandy, she did have that vein come up in the middle of her forehead, and she went off with them about not having her back for. So she was saying that Evelyn had a bad attitude too, and
Okay.
what she said was true. Evelyn did go off with them because they did not take up for her when that auntie came in and said that she need to go check the doctor, whatever she said.
Mhm.
Evelyn brings up Brandy's relationship with Jennifer since they have been back. Okay, do you want to stop before I go to this part?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Evelyn brings up Brandy's relationship with Jennifer since they have been back from Vegas and her not bringing it up. Brandy is kind of hurt that she put Vegas together for Evelyn to make sure she had a good time and made sure her best friend, which is Shawnee, was there as well. And then they both threw her underneath the bus. Evelyn is trying to find a fuck to give, but she can't find one. Brandy is over it. She feels like Evelyn's friendships are one-sided. They agree to disagree, and Brandy leaves. I feel like Brandy was absolutely right to leave, and I feel like Evelyn's
Yep.
friendships are one-sided when it comes to this situation.
I disagree with that
And I
part, but
love me some
yes,
Evelyn, but I agree with that.
I disagree. But I agree that it was time to go.
Hmm. So then we get to Denise and Brittany. Denise and Brittany talk about how devastating the fires have been. Denise came and picked up Brittany and her son. And where did this uncle come from?
I don't know.
I was like, wait. I saw him in the beginning because she was talking, but like I didn't know he lived with her.
Yeah, I don't know.
They talked about Evelyn's event and who was going to be there. They talk about Jackie and how much hate in their hearts they have for Jackie.
Which I thought was so bizarre.
It was very bizarre. Then we get to Jennifer, Jackie, and Brandy. Now they said it was a dance class, right?
Yeah. Not dance. She said workout.
Okay, I thought they said it was a dance class, but I put it in parentheses just in case I was wrong.
Yeah, no, just it was just a work. Like she invited them to go work out.
Okay, so then why did Jackie said if it was me, I would have invited them to like
A
some
dance class. I think because I think she was trying to
some
think of
hip
something.
hop dance class or something like that.
Yeah, I think she was trying to think of something lighter, easier. Yeah.
So Jackie came up with the conspiracy theories about the fire. She called Chantel, Doug, anybody she could call. We learned that Jackie and Chantel still have not talked. Brandy walks in. She has cut off her hair. I thought Brandy didn't have any hair. She just wore wigs. Do you remember that or not?
She said that from what I can recall in the interview with that she did on Evelyn's podcast is that she has like because of the treatments, the cancer treatments, that
Mhm.
she has like I don't know if it's alopecia, but she wears wigs all the times because she has spots in her hair that don't grow.
Mhm.
And so that's why she wears wigs all the time.
Yeah, I thought saw her hair was always short because when she said that, I was like, that's why she wears wigs.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's what she said in that interview. But I like the short hair. I thought it was cute.
I thought it was cute too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything Mary doesn't think is cute. So,
Of course.
uh, They said it was a dance class. Oh, I read that part. You just clarified that for me. Brandy tells Jen she had gotten thick since she has been married. Jennifer backs it up on that store, so I'm guessing they're saying because she's saying because of the sex life.
I guess. Which I was like, bleh, it was so gross.
Yeah,
I don't want to picture that. Thank you, ma'am. She has gotten thick,
I'm sure
but
they have like really nasty sex too because of Christian and Sullivan.
yes,
I think
gross.
nasty, disgusting sex. I'm
Yes.
here for it, Jen, though. Do you think, girl?
Ugh, gross.
Jackie asked Brandy what's going on with her and Jason. I was like, I'm like, here we go.
Yep. Yep.
She says he told her to come home during the fires, even though they are not where she wants them to be, but they are on better terms. Jennifer hopes,
And she said they're family, and I get it. Okay, girl.
yeah. Jennifer says she hopes that it continues and tells Brandy to keep them single women out of your damn business.
Which I'm like, shut up, Jennifer.
I'm with you, Jennifer. Brandy asked them, do they think that she is rude? Jen says, no, I think Brandy is just direct, which that's how I feel. Jen says, she tells them that Evelyn told her she has a stank attitude.
Hmm.
She tells them she walked away from the conversation with Evelyn, which I thought was really great. When you don't align yourself with Evelyn's truth, it becomes an issue and a problem. And Jennifer, Jackie, and Brandy agree on this. Jackie and Jennifer, oh, I'll say that part. Jackie says Ev invited her to the charity event. She wants to know if Brandy is going. She knows that Jen will not be in attendance. Brandy says she's going back to Texas to gather her things and then get back on her own, but she won't be attending the event. Jen wants Jackie to fix with things with Brittany. Brandy tells Jackie she owes Brittany an apology. Jackie says absolutely not, I'm not doing it. She says Mystery loves company, but they can't play in her field unless they want to come over here and act right. Period. Anything for this?
No, I didn't like that whole conversation.
So then we get to Evelyn, Chantel, and Shanice. I love this scene, by the way.
With Brandy, Jackie, and Jen.
No, Evelyn, Chantel, and Shanice.
Oh yeah, that one I liked. I didn't like that, and I didn't like that. I know that. All right, let me just say this. My little 2 cents is I understand that Brandy could is hurt by Evelyn, but knowing that you're talking to her arch nemesis at the moment, I don't know. I just felt like it's so interesting how you just switch really quickly. You were like, "That's my friend, that's my friend," and then now you're talking shit behind her back. I don't know. I didn't like it, but whatever. Let's move on to the
I
next.
think from the history of this show, this should be like a normal thing because when Jennifer and Evelyn was getting along and they were friends with Tammy, they dealt with that same situation and they were okay with it. So she should be able to do the same thing. That's my thing.
Okay.
So we get to Evelyn, Chantel, and Shanice. Shanice and her son have been staying with Evelyn since the fires, and and Evelyn loves it. Chantel comes over. Evelyn is excited for Chantel and Shanice to hang out and hope that I'm surprised they've never hung out before.
Yeah, me neither. I was surprised. Like, but then if you think about it, I mean, it's not like they were on the show all the time.
Yeah,
It's
true,
like they
true.
were only in and out here and there as it pertained to their moms. So
Yeah.
it was cute to see them together.
I think they would make really good friends too.
Yeah.
I can see the future basketball with them too, by the way. But
I don't think Shanice is not into it. Okay. She doesn't want
I
it. Yeah.
think that Chantel would be the Evelyn and Shanice would be like a Jennifer of the show. But
Okay.
we'll
Yep.
Evelyn is excited for Chantel and Shanice to hang out in hopes that they hit it off. They are going to put care packages together for the charity event. Chantel asks if Jackie is going to be invited to this event. Ev says yes, she invited everyone but Jennifer. Chantel,
Which
go ahead.
which I was kind of like, oh, Evelyn. I was disappointed because I was like, this is charity.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like all of them, all even,
because Jen
I
would have showed
understand.
up.
I'm sorry.
Jen would have showed up.
Yeah, it was bigger than their petty problems. Like
Yeah,
they don't have to be friends. But I just feel like it's to help people. Like like I
yeah,
don't understand why this. Just invite everybody, and if they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't.
yeah.
You don't have to sit there and braid each other's hair. I just I wish that she just would have invited everyone, including Jennifer.
And for the most part, Jackie did a good job of being there with people who didn't like her. So
Of course. Well, she only stayed for half an hour, but yeah, I'm jumping ahead.
even if Jen stayed for half an hour, it still would have been
Yes.
showed up.
Just to show up and help people, whatever you're gonna do,
Yeah,
it's bigger.
uh, Shanice was there inside when they was outside. So
Yeah.
I mean, they could have separated the entire thing. Who knows?
Absolutely. And it shouldn't even be about that, whether they separate. Just go there and be there. You guys are grown. Like, come on. You're putting care packages together. You're helping the individuals that have been affected and lost everything. Like, it's not even about she was rude and she talked about my mom and she just everybody come. Yeah.
Yeah. Chantel feels uncomfortable because she hasn't seen Jackie since Vegas. Evelyn says you would have to really be inconsiderate, cold-hearted, and Chantel's looking at her like, "Bitch, you just."
Right. Yeah. I know. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah. Ugh.
As Evelyn is saying this, she's like, "Damn, I just described Jackie."
Ugh.
Evelyn thinks it's going to be difficult to be friends with Chantel and Jackie because she's getting close to Chantel, but she
Yeah.
doesn't care. She wants Chantel to feel supported, and she wants and Shanice to be close. This is going to be next season's thing, by the way. It is.
It is
Chantel
okay.
is just going to help the packages, and Chantel hopes Jackie doesn't spark things with Brittany at the event, but if she does, Ed is going to ask her to leave. Now,
Right.
for this, I just feel like Evelyn and Jet, they're setting up this season for next season because we've already watched the stuff with Evelyn and the other daughter,
Yep.
and so now that she has a relationship with Chantel, Jackie's gonna go ape shit.
Eesh. I don't know about ape shit because I feel like she values, I hate to say it, but I feel like she values Shani more. Um,
I feel like she's gonna feel like Evelyn's taking Shani from her.
I don't think so. I feel like, like she keeps saying, I love that you're supporting my daughter. I love that you're defending my daughter. Like, I don't feel like she's going to take it like that, but we have to wait until the end of the season and especially see how that reunion goes.
I just feel like what's been all this, especially that conversation they had with Shawnee,
Mhm.
Chantel, and Evelyn. When Shawnee said it's the elephant in the room, I want to know how Jackie's gonna respond to that.
We'll have to see. I mean, because I feel like, they that's all they really said and then Chantel did the rest of the talking. So,
But
they
no,
just
you realize what Shawnee
they said
said.
yeah, but they said that it was odd. They felt like it was odd that she hadn't met the husband and it is odd. I don't
They're like, what
understand
she said, we're like,
what
where are your grandchildren at?
yes.
It's like the elephant in the room. It's almost like they know that Jackie doesn't have a relationship with her children, and
Mhm.
like no one wants to talk about it. So when Jackie watches this shit back, I feel like when this reunion happens, Jackie's not gonna be on. Jackie's gonna be on a million.
I I don't know if she's gonna be on a million just because Chantel is there. I don't feel like she's gonna want to.
That's a good observation. I wouldn't think about
Mhm. Yeah, I don't feel like because Jackie is behaving slightly different
that.
because Chantel is there. Have you noticed that, or is it just
Yeah.
me? Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna be like the old crazy Jackie with her daughter right there. But we'll have to see.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, I feel like that is a graveyard just waiting to dig up the bodies.
Hmm.
So Evelyn partnered with the Dina Relief Foundation. Shout out to North. She said Jackie should love her daughters equally.
Shout out.
Brandi couldn't make it because she went back to Dallas, and Ming had to go back to Atlanta for her daughter's birthday. Shanice stepped in for Brandi and Ming, and she's inside helping. Everyone but Jackie has arrived at this point. Jackie pulls up, and Evelyn tells Brittany she did invite Jackie.
Right.
Brittany just wants a lot of distance between them.
I'm
Jackie
just
walks.
like I'm like Brittany, you're not even it's not even about Jackie. It's not your mother. Like I just want to scream that at that girl. It's like
I
you're
think at this
there to
point, though, it's not about that part. I think it's about the fact that Jackie like jumped over that couch. To be honest,
it
that was.
doesn't matter if she was cussing her out. What does she expect her to do? Sit there quietly? What
I
is
mean,
she?
At
If
her
somebody
age,
was talking,
probably
if
not thinking
somebody was
like
talking to her like that, what is the proper in her mind? What is the appropriate response?
that. I couldn't see my mom hopping over a couch trying to find no girl. I just couldn't see it. I'm sorry.
I couldn't see it either unless they were trying to hurt me. My mom would have done anything for me.
But she
Period.
wasn't trying to hurt her daughter though. So I don't under that part.
But she was
I can ride
yelling.
with
She
Brittany
was
on this.
yelling at her, calling her out her name. Like I just why I'm just
Well,
what is
Chantel
Brit?
mad at her too though.
What? But Chantel wasn't talking to her the way that Brittany was yelling at her mother. So what was her? What was Jackie's response supposed to be?
I mean, why are you? I just would let it go because it's not important to me. Like this is my daughter. Period.
Wow.
And let it go. Again, I couldn't see my mom hopping over no couch trying to find nobody. I'm sorry. I just couldn't see it.
Right.
Jackie walks up and asks, "Where is Chantel?" Evelyn tells her she did invite Chantel, but she said she didn't want to come, and it would probably be best for her not to come. Jackie agreed. Brittany is annoyed that Jackie walks up acting as if nothing was wrong. She says it's typical
Well, and
behavior.
again, Brittany, I have a lot of problems with that girl.
I know you do.
What does she want her to act like walking up? What is she supposed to be doing to her? In her opinion, is she supposed to
And
be being like,
I never let
"Oh,
her go.
Brittany"?
Why would she
So
not know
is
your
she?
daughter's not coming?
So if she ran up to Brittany and knelt down and said, "Brittany, please forgive me," would that be okay? What does Brittany want from this woman? It's not your mother. She's making it. She's looking at Jackie as her issues with her mom.
Cindy, I think that this is more about the delusion of Jackie more than Brittany. Because why
What?
are you asking these women if your own daughter is coming? Why do you not know that?
Right? Because they haven't spoken.
And so, I mean, maybe Chantel has shared this with them, but like, why would you ask us that? To me, that's weird.
But okay, that's fine. But my question is, why does Brittany have so much built up when she doesn't really have have a history with Jackie like that? Built up anger, like
Well, she told you
Brittany was the other. But no, Brittany was the only one bringing up. Oh my God, Jackie's here, and if keep her far away. No, none of the other women said that.
she wasn't that annoyed at all. She really wasn't.
She was.
No, she wasn't. She was like, just keep me up. I mean, she had a smile on her face and everything. She wasn't really that annoyed.
But she still said nobody else said that except for. Okay, go ahead.
What she said was, "This is typical behavior of a toxic mother who sweeps everything under the rug until it's a big mountain of dirt under the rug, and that can be, and it can be avoided."
So once again,
That wasn't. That wasn't.
it's her. It's once again it's her mommy issues.
I don't think
But
that's. I think that's across the board. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
okay,
Like I'm not sitting here fighting for Brittany, but that's a real thing. And I feel like the way that Jackie keeps on coming, she comes into every room saying, "Have you talked to Shawnee? Have you talked to Chantel? Have you talked to Chantel? Ma'am, have you talked to her? It's not our responsibility to tell you we talked to her." I feel like she's putting them in bad positions saying, "Have you talked to Chantel?"
what else is she going to talk to them about? She doesn't know them like that.
Well, then don't ask them nothing. Talk to Evan
Okay.
because you know her or whoever else is there besides this. But like, if she was talking,
I disagree. I feel like Brittany had the worst attitude, especially at a charity function, until they spoke to that woman where she was telling them her story about her losing everything, but she was still there volunteering. Then then it, Brittany didn't seem as negative. On the other hand, uh, I felt like she was a problem. And it again, she made it about that relationship instead of what they were all there to do, in my opinion.
I don't think Brittany was that bad during this part. I feel like the confessionals may kind of cloud the actual event, but the actual event, she really wasn't that bad. She was like, just I'll be over here, she could be over there. She really didn't even interact. Even Jackie said she was like, I don't even feel nothing bad towards from Brittany. It's more from Denise. So I don't feel like that Brittany had like bad aura when it came to the situation.
I disagree.
Okay. So it says they don't want to talk to her like she doesn't want them to talk to them. Oh, Brittany says they don't want to talk to her like she don't, that like they don't want to talk to her.
Once again, negative because Denise wasn't saying that. This was all Brittany saying this
These are
stuff.
all in confessional, so this is after this is all happening.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie feels like Jennifer should have been invited. This is in the
Mm-hmm.
confessional too. They
Mm-hmm.
speak with one of the ladies whose family lost their homes from the fire. Brittany sneezes, and then Denise says that's the purge from all the bad that Jackie gives off. Denise
Mm-hmm.
says she forgot Jackie was even there. Jackie tells Ty she's not getting bad vibes from Brittany, but she is from Denise. She doesn't like that Denise chimed in at that IV drip event.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie feels like she can only keep it together for so long and decides to leave. She feels energy is getting thick and she can only hold on that fake smile for so long. She asks Ty to let Evelyn know she's leaving. Evelyn feels like Jackie should have stayed longer. Brittany feels like Jackie's demons couldn't handle all the joke, all of the joke. Ty feels like Brittany and Evelyn need to have a conversation with Jackie. She understands why Jackie left because they are making her out to be the villain, but she showed up and she didn't have to. She came and they gave weird energy and she left. Ty
Yep.
said she would have left too.
Yep.
Evelyn says she doesn't mind talking to her, but she's not going to sugarcoat what they have seen her and how she feels. She
Mm-hmm.
feels like she has caused a lot of pain and grief in her daughter's life. Brittany asks, do they think Jackie has had an epiphany? Ty says she does, and Evelyn can't believe Ty said this. Brittany says she still feels very violated. Last time she seen Jackie, she
It's
housed her
not
over the
about you, girl. You did that to your. Oh my
Let
God.
me get to
Okay.
this last part and then we can go on. She felt
Ugh.
last time she seen Jackie, she hopped over that couch and tried to fight her. She feels like she has to stay ready when she's around her. Dark can't be around light. That's the last part of the notes I have. So let's go.
Right.
To me, on this last part, I kind of resonated with Brittany. And the reason why is because I do feel like there are a lot of toxic parents. And when you're talking to the daughter and versus the mother and vice versa, or you're talking to both of them, sometimes the parent doesn't understand what they have done to their child.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that Brittany is adding on spice with her own personal trauma, but then we
Mm-hmm.
also still talking about Chantel's drama, the trauma she has from Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
So when Evelyn is saying it, Brittany is saying it, Brandi has seen it, like we've all seen it. She's talked about it multiple times for years. I do kind of feel like maybe Brittany's not all the way wrong. The way she's handling might be wrong, but I can understand like wanting to protect her from Jackie. And I also can understand that Jackie feels like y'all supposed to be my friends. Like, what's happening here? So I think there's two things that can be right and two things that can be wrong at the same time.
Um, I s- am more on Ty's side, not
Mm-hmm.
side, but I align more with what Ty is saying. Um, because like I said, I like the way she has quietly observed the situation. She hasn't been so negative and vocal the way that, in my opinion, Brittany and to a way lesser degree, Denise have been. Like, you're two newbies. You're way younger than this woman, and I feel like they're not mature enough to under any, and I know they both have children, but I don't feel like they are both mature enough to kind of just try to see both sides. In particular, Brittany, I feel like she only sees that one side because part of that she relates to. And I like the fact that Ty was just like, you guys were given like, oh my gosh, she's being so negative. Oh my gosh, she's being so negative. And so Jackie was just like, I feel like I'm getting a bad vibe and I'm here to help, but I'm out. And so I feel like, if they could open up and kind of try to, say, yes, we like Chantel. They're acting like they've known Chantel their whole life. They just met.
Right.
I feel like,
That's not cool.
huh?
That's not cool.
Right. And it's just kind of like, to have this opinion and all of this to say about her mother in such a disrespectful way, to me. Um, It's not cool. And I feel like that's what Ty was saying, like, hey, that's not cool. Like you guys, you know, you know, frankly, if it wasn't for Jackie, Chantel wouldn't even be on the show, basketball wife or not. So I don't know. I just wish that it wasn't so like, making it about them, but hiding behind Chantel's issues with her mother. But that's just me.
I think looking at this, since this stuff has started to happen, I feel like we're going to go to the last part when they get into this altercation. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's so much tension built up between Jackie and Chantel,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we're probably not privy to a lot of the conversations that's happening on the show with these ladies on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the different generations that are here,
Yeah.
and a lot of us, I think, even in my space, I think about like Brandy. So when
Mm-hmm.
Brandy had like consoled her, she was like, I feel like I want to hug her because she's been through a lot. I feel like Brandy kind of held it and let it go. Like it's not my thing, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure like like I got you if you need me.
Right.
Think when you go lower down the totem pole to the ages, they're more active when it comes to things because like they're not dealing with all this trauma from family stuff because
Mm-hmm.
they've been through it and like I'm not gonna live this way. We've been and one thing that Brittany did say that I realized and it made me think about why she's so angry was sweeping things underneath the rug.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's something that has been taught to us that has been so horrible. And it's also made a lot of us like need like therapy for years of our lives and like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understand like what our trauma that we had, maybe our parents don't have the capacity to help us through these
Exactly.
things. And so I think maybe I
and
wish
and I think what you just said there is what I was alluding to earlier, is that it's a generational thing. Like they were not taught to do certain things, and so not I'm not excusing it, but
Mhm.
if they don't have the capacity to do it because they don't know, they weren't, they didn't see it, they weren't taught it. How then are you just going to try to? I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your thought.
What I was saying was like I think in my generation like, we went through those things. We're like, let's go get some help. I think the people that come up underneath us, like they're like, no, this don't even help us either.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at some point, I just wish that like because we're dealing with like three different generations on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point, like where are the therapists that come into the show
Right,
and
right.
say, hey, like Iana may not be the best person, but like let's throw her into the fold for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring somebody like this in here. What's I think his name is like Dr. Greg or something like that.
Yep.
I think he
Mm-hmm.
does a therapy with Brandy and Jason. But
Uh-huh.
let's bring somebody in to like kind of bridge this gap because Brittany definitely has issues that she needs to go to therapy with. But
Yes.
also Chantel does as well.
Yep.
I can't match their trauma together, but I
Right.
can understand why Brittany would match it. I can understand why Chantel's checking out.
Right.
I also can understand why Jackie is ignoring these things because at her mind is about the perception of what people think.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lived in all three of these generations. So
Right.
it makes sense to me. And that's why I don't a lot of things I feel like I'm always in the middle when it comes to these things because I understand the Brandy parts, I understand the Evelyn parts, I understand the Chantel parts.
And I understand the
But
Jackie
other
parts.
than that, I don't know if I can understand the Jackie parts.
I understand the Jackie parts because I feel like, whatever she has gone through that made her this way,
Mhm.
she was taught not to talk about.
And you know what? And even that's a good point because even when you're saying that, when Chantel
Mm-hmm.
says, I don't know none of this about my mom,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's what makes me feel like I can relate to Chantel more than I can relate to Jackie because she's she has a whole family as your husband. At what point do you sit and talk about the things that you've been through?
Right. But then also, my issue with Shani is that I know that she's trying to create boundaries and protect herself,
Hmm.
but the fact that she hasn't, that she refuses to, let me just say, or chooses, not refuses, chooses not to introduce her mother to
Hmm.
her husband is bizarre to me. And I feel like she needs to work out why that is.
But I feel like because of the toxic growing up.
It could be, but that you can't allow that
Cindy, I'm gonna
to.
tell you something. When we get on here, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay. I just
I understand it.
well, I have I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah. I
but
think it's
I
just
feel
I think it's a lot of different like when Evelyn said it's gonna be one of the best seasons, it really hasn't because it's drawing from different strains from every generation.
yeah,
And it's really drawing in like family drama and trauma and
yes.
and how you deal with it. And
Mhm.
the way that we're even talking about it now, it seems it's so destroying to understand that like we are all coming from different parts of this life.
Mhm.
It's like what you may feel is right, I may not feel that way. What Chantel's going through, we don't even know what it is because it's so secretive. What
Right.
Brittany said that we sweep the things underneath the rug because there's a pile up, like that seems. I understand that. Like, there's a lot going on here,
I
so
understand that too,
it's
and
provoking for this entire season for me at this point. And so
I
I
understand that too, but the way that they're making it be a conflict and a storyline for several of the women is what I have an issue with. Because and then we have Jennifer's situation where she's talking about the grief of
her
losing her mom, and she was trying to you relate to Jackie in that way because she was like, we don't have our moms,
Jackie and
like yeah, uh-huh. What'd you say?
Jackie and Brittany.
No, Brittany has her mom. She just is cut
No,
her
you
off.
said she was trying to relate with Jackie with her trauma with her mom, but she was trying to relate her trauma with her mother passing away with Jackie and Brittany on the
Oh,
season.
yes, yes, correct. But I mean, in reality, the only two people that we know that have lost their moms is Jackie and Jennifer. And so Jennifer's perspective is even different than what the other women are talking about. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're kind of in that intersection. And I feel like you made a really good point earlier, which is, that it would be great if we could have kind of like I feel like a lot of these shows too, like in the reality of it, it would be great to see some sort of like counseling or debrief of like a mental health check, for
It's,
some of
it's
these situations,
it's so much going on, and like we're coming from different places, from different parts of the world, and
right.
and to me, like this is a pivotal moment for this show. They can
Hmm.
really like zoom in on something that people have never done
Yeah.
on a reality television show. And people talk about basketball all the time. I remember when Tammy and Evelyn were doing, I think it was IVF,
Hmm.
and they were getting tested for cancer, breast
Yeah.
cancer, whatever. Like that was something that people really remember a lot. This
Yeah,
was
I
so
I remember that because I was like that was a bonding moment for them, which I was
yeah.
happy to see. But it was also just real life, like they were both around the same age. They were both
Mhm.
trying to figure out like their next steps if they could, you know.
But I would love for them to deal with all this that's happening right now the same way.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be great. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were those couple of seasons too where Jackie started therapy and had therapy, a couple of sessions with her kids, but it was more because she had just lost her mom, and that and actually that therapist I went to high school with.
Oh,
Yeah. But anyway, I just feel like we should try to take some of these situations and find the more positive route. Although what I'm feeling now and what I don't like of what's happening is that it's dividing the group into these bubbles of like, I support Chantel or I support this person more. And, like, I don't know. I
and I
don't
think
know.
that's where I came into this part where like I kind of support everybody in every situation at this point because
Mm-hmm.
I do understand the Brittany part, I do understand the Chantel part, I understand the Jennifer part, even though I've never experienced that with my mom passing. My
Mm-hmm.
mom has lost her mother like recently, so like I understand a lot of these things, and a lot of stuff is like bringing me into a space of like of appreciation of life, of
Mm-hmm.
things that I still do have,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to be angry like Brittany. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, but it's you would never be angry like Brittany because you didn't have you had a loving mother, right? So what I and what I know to be true is that, not my mom and I were like best friends, but my cousins, my aunts, she was a drug addict, and so she wasn't around, but it didn't matter. They wanted so desperately, no matter how many bad things she did, to be like, call her mom and make her seem like she wasn't a deadbeat. Now that to me is a deadbeat. You're not around. Other people are raising your kids, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So but once again, just because that wasn't my story doesn't mean that I cannot relate to, somebody who has a toxic relationship with their parents. But
Mhm.
again, I feel like a lot of Britney's anger is, even in the first season, has been misplaced. And she needs to work on that. And the fact that she keeps misplacing it, especially towards Jackie, is bugging me, because I feel like I just want to tell her it's not about you. It's
Mhm.
not about your mom.
Mhm.
It's not about you, and whatever. That's how I see her.
Well, let me end this because I need 2 hours so I can do my clips because I want to do it past 2 hours.
Okay.
But do you have anything else to say about the episode?
No, I mean, I hope that I don't know. I would love to see it get better. I don't think it is, but
I want you
yeah.
to stay behind stage when I get off here because I want to talk to you.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. So thank you guys for tuning in so much with me and Cindy for this review. To me, I didn't think it was gonna be this much. Yeah.
I know. I know. I think it's because we started to get into, examples in our personal life
Yeah.
experience as well. Yeah.
But make sure you guys tune in. Nancy will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day.
And
Depends
thank you
on
guys so much for hanging in there with us. We're going to
yes.
try to be more consistent.
Yes. But make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video if you haven't already done that. So comment down below. I say this all the time. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the content. I'm gonna drop you down, Cindy, real quick. Tell
Okay.
me what part.
Bye, bye, guys. Bye, bye, nation. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
Comment down below. I need to get back in the act when we are working really hard. You guys have been doing a great job helping me do this part. So make sure you guys do that. I'm gonna let this intro. Let's get out of here. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.
Did it, I 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 did it, you did it, I did it, you did it, did it, I did it, I did it, I did it, did it, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it.